Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Molchop here, coming at you with another Starcraft 2 commentary. And if anyone at Blizzard happens to be watching this, please make it an option to have this closed by default instead of opened, because I keep having to restart my commentaries because I realize that the replay bar is showing, and I might as well make use of this little ability to slim it down. For those of you that don't play StarCraft or that don't watch replays, I guess. Right here where my logo is the replay control pad thing with the little faster, slower pause thing. Anyway, this is a game between Minigun from the Root Gaming clan, and he's going to be playing against cSOchico. And I must admit I am not very familiar with Chico at all, but if he's playing against Minigun, he must be at least decent. Root Minigun is a very, very strong player. Recently casted a game of his actually in the Clan League, EG versus Root. That was a fun game to watch. In any case, we will see what happens. So I just casted I may not get this up until later than when I get up the Braddock versus Whiterun series, but I just finished casting that. I was like, alright, I'm done casting for the day. Gonna try and get some laddering in, get some other stuff going on. It looks like a little misclick with the drones there. I'm done, I'm good, I'm going to bed, etc, etc. And I went on my inbox, and Schema, who actually sent me the replay for a game I did before between Lords and Elios or something like that. Anyway, it was a really unique strategy. It was cool. I think if I remember correctly, I didn't actually go back and watch, but I think it was the one where we saw the infested Terrans being used as bombs to use splash damage. Anyway, he said this showed another interesting strategy, so I was like, I was really curious what it is, so I had to go ahead and jump in here and do this. This is on the map Scrap Station, so which can lead to some interesting strategies. You've got these rocks, destructible rocks you can break down, making it a very, very short distance between the bases. So, curious to see what's going to go on here. Anyway, so it looks like Chico, I didn't see, let's see here, his hatchery is ahead of his pool, so I think he got his hatchery down first, then his pool. Gas as well. Get a couple drones in there. He's doing pretty good. Just getting his econ going, get his tech going as well. And Minigun is just going to go ahead and wall off his door with a gateway and a core. And I'm not sure if that blocks with one zealot. Actually, I think this might be a 2 zealot block there. He may have to put down another pylon. Yeah, I think this is going to be a 1 zealot block. There we go. And he's actually, yeah, he's rolling a zealot over there so he can block up that gap if he needs to. Scouting probe was just recently in there, so he knows that there's no, heavy zerglings being made or anything like that. And he's actually going to make a spine crawler. This map is interesting. It's hard to defend with static defenses as Zerg in that sort of situation. Is there another gap here? I wonder if there's a gap. He might need to move that zealot to make sure it blocks. In any case, where's the zealot going? Is this zealot going to run out and see what's happening in the main base? It's good to do this, especially if you know there's no major rush coming or anything like that, so you can send out your zealot. It forces the Zerg to build some Zerglings, and it also is going to, possibly kill a drone or two if you can sneak it in. Yeah, he's not going to just camp there at the watchtower. In any case, yeah, it's hard because you can build a spine crawler up here, but it doesn't protect your expansion at all. He's actually going to build a second spine crawler. I usually put my first creep tumor here and try and creep out so I can put my colony spine crawlers down here at the bottom of the ramp as quickly as possible. Of course, then you still have to defend these rocks, so it's really, really tough to defend on here. In any case, he's got the Stalker in here as well, Stalker and a Zealot, and this might be a little bit suicidal, actually. The Stalker might get caught off guard. There are some Zerglings there. They are speed, not speed upgraded yet, but they are soon to be speed upgraded. 10 Speedlings are on the way, so those Speedlings are going to get out at about the same moment that the speed upgrade finishes. And wisely, Minigun is going to fall back. I don't know if he got one. He got one kill on the Stalker, a single Zergling, I believe. So it's very wise of him to fall back now and just go back here. Oh, Warp Prism. Warp Prism is on the way. I think, yeah, and now Schema said, I think the strategy is underused, and I think Warp Prisms in general are underused right now. It's like Protoss have forgotten that they have a transport unit, because they're often getting a robotics facility anyway. It's just so easy to get a lot of Zerglings coming in here. He's got a couple Zealots in the front. He's got the Stalker behind. Warp gate's just going up. He actually only has the one warp gate. What's he gonna do? He's gonna wall off with another gateway there, just in case. Now, does he actually see? He only sees those extra gateways behind there. He doesn't know there's a robotics facility. That Stalker, he's just going with mass speedlings. A Roach Warren is being built in the background as well. That one Stalker and this one Sentry are going to have a hard time dealing with all of these Zerglings. They're going to actually... Oh, Force Field goes down, blocking them from hitting about half of his Cybernetics core. Is he going to be able to get it up in time? Oh, man, so close. The Cybernetics core down to 250 hit points. But, Warp Prism is out now. He's actually going to drop... he's going to load up a couple Zealots, a Stalker, and a Probe in there and fly it across. Now, he only has ground units. He doesn't have any anti-air units except the Queens. So he could actually do pretty well, and I like this, using it as a transport and then warping units in as well. He's gonna warp in cannons. I didn't even see how to forge. He warps in a cannon and a pylon, and the warp prism actually provides the phasing or whatever you want to call it to warp in the cannon. The pylon can come in at the same time as the cannon. He's just gonna defend this with 4 Zealots and 2 Stalkers while the cannons warp in. He does have a Roach Warren. 4 Roaches are being produced, and they will be able to do very well against these units. But 3 more Zealots warping in, though. This is really bad. The Warp Prism goes in. Now, because he built all those Zerglings and lost a ton of Zerglings on that Cybernetics core, he doesn't have a ton of Zerglings to deal with this. And the cannons finish! The cannons finish in the background, and because the pylon was warped in also, he can actually move the Warp Prism and build more cannons over here if he wants to. Look at this. This cannon is being going to go down eventually, but at the loss of 2 Roaches and a Queen, falling those Zealots and Stalkers back to help out with that one cannon as well. The Probe is still in there building another cannon. I think he lost the Probe, but at this point it doesn't matter because the Warp Prism is still there, can still power that Photon Cannon. Warp Prism doesn't have anything else to do. Oh, there you go. Never mind. There is a Probe still there, and he's going to continue warping in more pylons and cannons in the background here, forming a nice ring behind the supply line. He's going to go for a counterattack, but I think it's just a little bit too late, actually. If he'd gone for a counterattack initially, when all those units were no longer there, this Cybernetics core would not have any shields. He wouldn't have any of these reinforcements. He might have been able to take down that Cybernetics core, but, you know, at what cost? He spent a lot of Zerglings trying to get through that core, and it really didn't pay off for him. Oh my gosh, the main hatchery goes down. The Broodlings get torn apart on the Photon Cannons, only taking out shields. And this is it. This is his one last final counterattack. He's rallied everything to the front here. Actually, he's going to try and defend with mass spine crawlers. Here he comes in. Roaches are going to try and take down that. What is he doing? Attacking the pylon. Oh no, I think this cannon is powered by this other pylon that he doesn't see. He's trying to take out that pylon so he can unpower the gateway, and it doesn't unpower anything. The cannon is still there. The gateway is still even powered by this. That was a really, I guess he was trying to break down the pylons because it's a weaker building so he could get his Zerglings in there. But 3 Zealots are going to plug that gap just as well as a pylon. He's just going to chill there, and that is pretty much going to be the game. Tons of spine crawlers over here. He's going to try and walk them over. There's a unique moment here where the spine crawlers are not burrowed. Half those spine crawlers are not in the ground. They can't do any damage. The Zealots going in there trying to kill off all those spine crawlers before they can actually do damage. They finally burrow. They finally root, rather, and are able to do damage to those Zealots, but I think it's too late. And, oh, man, look at this. This spine crawler is trying to move in the back there. This is just going to be game. GG. Chico leaves the game. Brilliant play by... Minigun, and I think it really, I don't know if that strategy would have worked if he hadn't thrown away like 10, 15, 20 Zerglings on this core, and not had that succeed. Really, if he wanted to do that, he probably should have gotten a Baneling Nest, waited a few more moments, and hit one of these buildings with a few Banelings if he was really going to try and break that wall. In any case, I mean, it could have worked. I'm not saying that it was a dumb strategy. Chico could have easily broken that down, and then he would have gotten a ton of Zerglings in there because he saw that Minigun didn't have much in the way of defenses, and he almost lost that core because he only had that 1 Stalker and the 1 Sentry, the 1 Gateway, so it almost worked. Anyway, because he lost so many Zerglings, he didn't have any defenses, and those 4 Zealots and 2 Stalkers were able to hold on long enough for the pylon and cannons to warp in, and then it was just all downhill from there. Down the hill of the ramp into the natural expansion for the win. GG. I hope you guys enjoyed that game. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks again for the recommendation, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care.